Tonight, I got an exciting show because I'm going to be ranting and raving about some key subjects that I think you probably already know about. One of them is, are you still safe at your home? And what are the benefits now that you're at home? So be right back. I'm going to just check this dial. Hang on. I'm going to just look at this dial and get ready because it is now time for the old man from the kitchen. How'd you like that? Kind of exciting? That's what I thought. The old man ranting from the kitchen today. We're going to give you garden tips. Yes, I've got garden tips. But first, let's talk about how incarceration is affecting you. How staying home may be affecting you. As you know, the virus has changed our lives. Everybody's life will be changed forever with this virus. But let's take a look at what's happening right now. For instance, here is something that I thought was very exciting. Have you noticed on television now that you no longer, this is crucial for you to realize that this is going on, but if you have a plugged up drain in your home, you no longer have to talk to the plumber, look at the plumber, or watch him work. That's right, friends. I want you to know if the old man is really on to this. He will come out with his crew. They'll talk to you on the phone, okay? They'll come out, take care of your drains. You'll be 50 million feet away from them or wherever you're going to hide. He comes in, fixes your drains, leaves, extracts your cash over the phone, okay, and smiles at you on your computer monitor. How wonderful. You know, when I was in the construction business a few years ago, I always found that talking to the plumber was like talking to a doorknob. They would turn one way or another, either opening up a conversation or closing your checkbook, one of the two. So this is really great relief. So I want to thank the virus for bringing this to our light. I also would like to thank the virus to the big job it's done for me. It's got me off of television. Yeah, that's right. You see, now, with all the virus problems and all of the repeat television shows over and over and over again, I really don't have the urge to watch television any longer. So I thank the virus for that and keeping me penned up here in the beautiful kitchen. By the way, we're coming to you live from the kitchen. And I think that you'll really enjoy the factor that now that you're at home, look at all the things that you have put off that you can do. Yeah, like me. I wanted for months and months trying to get rid of the idea of, watching television and enjoying it. That's taken care of. And the innovations that I've come up with since this virus thing has started is exciting. Let me show you something right now. This is, as I've talked about before, the old man's official wardrobe, brought to you by one and only Walmart when you can get to the clothing department. This is really exciting because we've come out with a new accessory. This is called the Breast Sanitizer Utility. Okay, now ladies, don't get mad at me. This is very clever. You put this bottle of hand sanitizer and it fits perfectly in the old man's shirt, and you can go around every few minutes and just push like so, and then you can sanitize your hands at the same time while you're thinking to yourself, when is this ever going to end? Have you noticed also the communication that you now have with your family that you never had before? Well, I haven't noticed any change at all, but I understand by the yelling and screaming by the neighbors that evidently the communication has picked up considerably. I don't think I've ever heard such cherished words between two lovebirds in my life like we've heard lately about strange little things like, I hate you, I want you out of the house, I can't stand anymore, I'm going stir crazy. I thought that was kind of exciting because this shows the family is now communicating. That's a step forward. How about what we're doing with education? Can you imagine what's going to have an effect on the education? Can you imagine that? I saw my grandkids for the first time, and they live over in a very good school district, by the way. I watched them actually now go into the electronic field of education. I don't know after this virus is done what's going to happen with the kids. The teachers are probably still sitting down saying, oh my God, I'm overworked and too many students. But the idea of kids being able to now use the electronic keyboard, and I'm going to grab one real quickly here. That keyboard, wonderful. Oh, that's set it down, Bill. The producer just gave me the word to set it down. To be able to use the keyboard and to be able to communicate with the teacher is far better now. Here's the reason why I think so. Before, when they wanted to tell the teacher to get lost, they had to use the language, correct? Now they have to type it out on a keyboard, which means they have to learn how to spell. And before they push the enter button, they have to take a look at what they're saying. Now, that means that they can spell and read while they're telling the teachers to get lost. What an accomplishment through electronic education via the virus. Okay, now I'm not going to go too far on that because I'm sure there's people out there right now that are teachers, and God bless them, because I don't want their job. Believe me, they have to be special people to be teachers. You have to be part politician, you have to have a bodyguard, and you have to hope that you're loved by your students. Not, talking about the germs and bugs that they bring into the classroom. However, we won't go into any of that at all. Now, I've covered a little bit about television because TV keeps you informed, the facts of this virus. I've heard it so many times now. At least 100 times a day, we get to learn how to wash our hands. I'm to the point now where I got it down pat. I can do it in my sleep. But then I sit down and wonder, golly, is everybody on track with this? Has there been people that haven't washed their hands in years that are now learning? Well, maybe not. Maybe this is great that the virus brought us all to a higher plane in cleanliness and hygiene. Thumbs up. Number 355 ideas that I came up with just the other day. This one was really great. I came up with the idea that we need to stay home even after the virus is over with. Have you noticed the traffic? Can you visualize this, the people, especially in South Hill Puyallup, that they can get on Meridian? Now, Meridian's 4 lanes, mind you, in spots. It's amazing that you can actually drive down Meridian and go 2 to 3 miles, 2 to 3 miles, without stopping 26 times or being jammed up in traffic where you can't move forward. Have you missed that wonderful tingling sensation that you get when you're behind the wheel and the light in front of you goes green, but the next block up is red, therefore there's so many cars that you only move 20 feet on Meridian at peak traffic time, which runs from 12 midnight until 12 noon each day? Oh, I'm telling you, it's been a miracle. I found such exciting things. I even thought about escaping from this wonderful sanitarium up here and escaping out and actually taking a walk. I thought that would be a brilliant idea. So I got on my walking shoes. Like the governor says, you can go out bicycle rides, you can go out and walk, but stay 6 feet away from everybody else. Keep the distance, which is a great idea, by the way. I didn't realize that cats and dogs do not understand keeping the distance. So as I'm taking my friendly walk through the parking lot of the world of no return, I naturally occasionally look down to see dogs of smaller size and cats chewing on my ankles. So it is really not safe right now, and it's better to stay home, you see, because that could occur. Now, older people such as myself have also got something else that's wonderful going on with the virus. We no longer are required to go to the mailbox every day. You see, this has been great. I used to just go to the mailbox, open the door, flip a match in, close the door, and call the fire department. I don't have to do that now, you see, because by the time I get back to the mailbox again, it will be so stuffed full. That is, if the mail department can get enough funding from the federal government to continue to bring me those hate letters in bills, that you won't be able to get it in there. And knowing the mailman, he will just take it and throw it out the window. So, I mean, we've got this made. This is a positive while we're sitting at home wondering what's happening next. So, taking all that stuff into consideration, I thought it would be also a good idea just to simply mention some of the great things that are really truly happening and stop ranting about the stuff that's, well, kind of stupid. One of the great things I found that is really, really wonderful is people actually helping other people. I went to the store again. We made our third trip since the lockdown has been incurred. And people were really, really being careful. There wasn't that hurried up buy, steal everything, run the cart over the next guy in line, go through, stand on the X, get slapped in the head if you do something wrong. The area was more of a friendly. People were more interested in shopping, more interested in being humans. And I think that made a big difference to me, for sure. I know that it made my shopping experience much better. The stores are really working very hard, and my hat's off to everyone in the industry of food, transportation, truckers. You guys really got hit hard. I hope that things work out for you, because you are the soldiers that are moving the food to our grocery stores. And bless you. The group of doctors and nurses. Just the other day, I talked to a young lady on the phone who is in a different state. She's not here in Washington, but she had just been released after 3 weeks of being quarantined at the hospital. She worked in intensive care and with the infected people, and it was wonderful. Her attitude, she got to go home. She has small children. She got to see her kids again. Even electronically, they were communicating back and forth. It's really hard when you have young children, and I have to take my hat off to her. There's so many good nurses and doctors right now that are sacrificing it. The old man ranting from the kitchen is really, really taken by it. And I truly bless you. I admire you, and keep up the good work. And we'll all live through this, of course. This has been a kind of a tough time for everybody. And it's not going to get much easier, I understand, in the next 2 weeks. Maybe it will and maybe it won't. But I think the summary is going to be simply this. We're going to find that we're all humans and that we all have needs, and we have to work together as we did when this country was built to become and stay the strongest nation in the world. So all the people that are out there that are really trying, my hat's off to you. Staying home is not easy. I'm pretty sure that some of these tracks on the wall are my fingerprints going up to the ceiling. I could be wrong. It's been very difficult. And to stay smiling and happy, I've been very fortunate. I have a lot of good people that have called me, and we've talked. And we've got some good shows coming up on our podcast network. We've taken a little bit of sabbatical from what we were doing before, simply because we can't get out and interview people like we want to do. But we've had an opportunity to replan next year. I know that sounds strange, but in the podcasting world, it's always next year. It takes us a long time to put together networks, shows, and to find interesting things for everybody to listen to, believe it or not. Even though the old man ranting from the kitchen is not interesting, and I thank the people that have asked me to find another hobby. Kudos, appreciate the emails. But it's also been very exciting for us to put together shows such as Revealing Wholeness with Dr. Troy Munson. He's done a wonderful job. He is now coming on Facebook Live every other Wednesday of the month with a wonderful tips on nutrition, where he just has a simple conversation with you. Since we can't meet in groups, at least now he can talk to you on Facebook Live and keep the momentum going. Great shows. They come on every other Wednesday at 6:30. We are very honored to be the production company running the shows, and we hope that we can work through all these little, shall we say, problems that we have run into simply because of the virus and the absence of not being able to be right there in the studio with him when he's doing his shows. But he's done a great job. Please tune into it. We had some exciting news this weekend. As you know, we started out 3 years ago building the Disruptors Network, podcast network. And I started with a wonderful, wonderful business person by the name of Candace Thompson with the Wild Child Group. And we started a show called The Disruptors, which you can still find on iHeartRadio. Unfortunately, last year, she had a kind of a rough year. And after going through some physical